In this video demonstration, I will show you how to download international trade data from Comtrade via the WITS website. This data can then be used within TradeSift to analyze trade policy choices. Firstly, open your internet browser and go to wits.worldbank.org. Navigate to the login section of the website by clicking the login button in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Enter your login details on this screen. If you have not already signed up to WITS, you can register for free by clicking here. After you have successfully logged into WITS, we advise that you search the database to find out whether the trade data you require is available for the countries and years that you are interested in. Therefore, you should first go to the Data Availability section, found in the Support Materials section of the website here. Make sure you are on the Comtrade tab, which will show you the availability for trade data. The other tabs shown on this page will provide information on the data availability for other databases, such as Trains, the tariff database. You can filter the information displayed on this page by using the text boxes under the column headings here. If you would like to filter the countries column so that only data for Tanzania, for example, is on display, enter Tanzania into this box, click the filter icon here, and then click Contains. As you can see, the data has been limited to show the availability of trade data for Tanzania only. Each row displays data for different revisions of either the harmonized system or the standard international trade classification, as indicated in the Nomen Name column. The letters in the Years column denote the availability of trade data and the type of trade data available. An I represents gross imports, an E represents gross exports, R is re-exports, and an M is re-imports. Re-exports are defined as exports of previously imported foreign goods that have not undergone any value addition processes. Re-imports are defined as imports of previously exported domestic goods that have been returned to the country of origin. The majority of countries predominantly report gross imports and gross exports. These values include re-import and re-export data respectively. If re-import and re-export data are available, then net imports and net exports can be calculated by subtracting the value of re-imports and re-exports from the gross import and gross export values respectively. As most countries do not report re-import and re-export data, the majority of trade analysis is conducted on gross trade values. As you can see, Tanzania has import, export, and re-export data available for 2004 to 2007 and 2010. However, if you scroll along the table, you can see that for the majority of years, only import and export data are available. As you can see, Tanzanian trade data is available for recent years. However, not all countries report trade data to Comtrade on a regular basis. This results in missing data, which may restrict your analysis. For example, if we filter the countries to show the availability of Kenyan trade data, you can see that data is not available for 2011, 2012, and 2014. In some cases, mirror data can be used. If export data for country A is missing, you may be able to use import data from country B as a proxy for country A's exports to country B. In theory, country A's exports to country B should be equal to country B's imports from country A. However, this is not the case, as there are key differences in the way that import and export data are measured, and therefore you must be particularly careful and consistent when using mirror data. For a more detailed definition of mirror data, please refer to the TradeSift user manual, which is located on the TradeSift website and can also be accessed within the TradeSift program by clicking on the question mark icon in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Once you have an understanding of the data, you can decide the nomenclature, digit level, and time period for your analysis. Remember to also think about what you want to find out and what you want the analysis to focus on, as this will determine whether you want total trade, trade for sectors or products, which reporters, partners, regions you are interested in, and whether there are key dates that you want to include in the analysis. I should also stress that you can always download and add additional data into your project at any point throughout your analysis. This allows you to conduct preliminary investigations to identify the key export destinations for your country of interest using total trade data. You can then come back into WITS to download disaggregated product level data from your country of interest to its top export destinations. Now you can start the data query. To do this, click on Trade Data, UN Comtrade, in the Advanced Query section of the menu bar. You will then be taken to this page of the website, as shown on your screen. Create a name for your query and enter the query description here. Select Comtrade as the data source and then click Proceed. You can select the reporter countries by clicking here. This will open a window where you can make your selection. I will select Tanzania from the country list. To confirm your selection and close the window, click Proceed. Then select the products. To do this, you must first select your chosen nomenclature. Although TradeSift projects can hold data from multiple nomenclatures and digit levels, you should only request data in one nomenclature and digit level at a time. Files with multiple digit levels within them cannot be read by the TradeSift software. This is extremely important to remember. Therefore, in this example, we will select HS 1996 from this drop-down menu. This is the 1996 revision of the harmonized system. In order to decide which digit level to select, you must think about the level of detail you require. The HS2 digit level includes 97 product codes, therefore grouping all imports and exports into one of the 97 categories. At the 4-digit level, these 97 categories are further subdivided into a total of approximately 1,200 different product codes, providing you with trade data information at a more disaggregated level. The 6-digit level further subdivides this information, allowing you to have a much clearer picture of the specific types of products that are imported and exported for a given year. The 6-digit level is the most disaggregated level of the harmonized system that is internationally comparable. TradeSift Pro can actually analyze data up to the 12-digit level. However, TradeSift Edu can analyze data up to the 4-digit level only. And remember, each data query can only include data for 1 digit level at a time. Therefore, you cannot have 2-digit data and 4-digit data in the same data query. For this data query, we will request data at the 4-digit level. There are multiple ways to select the products you need. In this example, we want to download all 4-digit product codes. We can do this by opening the Clusters section of the window and clicking on this icon here. Then double-click on All To, which specifies in the brackets that this includes data for all 4-digit HS codes. Then proceed to the Partner list. If you want to select all countries, click on the Country List window, then press Ctrl A on your keyboard to select all, and then click the right arrow button here. If you would like to select just a few countries, you can just double-click on the countries you are interested in. Once you are happy with your selection, click Proceed. Now select your years of interest. In this example, we will just select 2012. Then, select the trade flows of interest. As explained earlier, the majority of trade data is reported in gross trade flows. It is only when re-exports and re-imports are reported that one can calculate the net import and export values. Therefore, it is advised to use gross imports and gross exports. Whatever you decide to use, you must be consistent in your approach. Then click Submit, then OK on this dialog box. You will then be taken to the Download and View Results page, which you can also access from the Results section of the navigation bar here, and clicking Download and View Results. The status is shown as In Progress. You can refresh this page by clicking this Refresh button here. Once the query status has changed to Completed, click the Download icon here. A dialog box will open where you can select which column headings to include in your downloaded file. When downloading data for TradeSift, you are not required to add or remove any fields. You can just click Download and then OK. Again, while WITS retrieves your information, you can check the status of the request here, refreshing the page as required. As mentioned earlier, we only selected trade data from 2012 for this trade query. This is because Comtrade only allows trade data to be downloaded in files of 50,000 rows or less for free. If you have a paid subscription to Comtrade, you can submit very large queries. However, for free users, the data must be split into multiple files. Dividing the data by years is just a simple way of reducing the individual file size. Once you have downloaded the data, you can repeat this process for the years you require. If you are a free user and the total rows column is shown as 50,000, this means that your data request is almost certainly larger than 50,000 rows. This file only includes the first 50,000 rows of your data query, and therefore data will be missing, and this file should not be used. If this happens, you will need to divide the data query into multiple data requests until the number of rows is below 50,000. In this example, the total rows are shown as just over 31,000. Therefore, we are below the Comtrade limit, and all available data that has been requested will be included in this file download. You can then click the Save icon here, and the file is downloaded into a zip folder. Open and unzip this folder and copy the file into an easily accessible folder. TradeSift cannot access files from a zipped folder, so this step is extremely important. Repeat this process until you have the data you require for your analysis. And remember, you can always download additional data to load into your project at a later date if required. For example, some of the trade indicators within TradeSift, such as revealed comparative advantage, require world trade data. To retrieve this data, start a new trade query by clicking Trade Data, UN Comtrade, in the Advanced Query section of the menu bar, as we did before. Create a new name and query description, then click Proceed. As before, open the Reporters section. In the previous example, we selected Tanzania as the reporter. This time, we want the world to be the reporter. However, in WITS, world is not available as a reporter in the country list. You must open the predefined country group section and then double-click on All Countries, which is an aggregate of all countries' available trade data. Then, as before, select the nomenclature to HS 1996 and select all 4-digit product codes. Then you can open the Partners section. This time, you can just double-click World in the country list, then click Proceed. Then select your years. Then you can select your chosen trade flows. After this, click Submit, and then follow the steps outlined in the previous example to download and save this file in an easily accessible location. It is worth noting that WITS has lots of useful resources, including help pages, a user manual, and a range of e-learning materials. All can be accessed from the Support Materials section of the navigation bar here. Once you have downloaded the data, open the TradeSift window and click Load Data. You will now see a number of options for loading data into TradeSift in the panel above. In this example, we will select Trade Data from Files. Please then click Add Files in the top left-hand corner to open the File Selection window. Navigate to the folder where you have saved the files in the previous step, select the files, and then click Open. TradeSift will then validate the file to ensure it is compatible with TradeSift. You will then be able to click the Load button here, which will start the importing process. This can be repeated with multiple files at any point throughout the project. If you have access to national trade data, it is not necessary for you to download the data from Comtrade. However, you may be required to edit the column headings or format of the file to ensure TradeSift can interpret the information. For more information about using your own data files within TradeSift, please see the TradeSift user manual. Thank you very much for watching this video. For more videos, please visit tradesift.com. And please do get in touch with us if you have any questions.